So, I was thinking, did they have a comedian on the Titanic? Do you know Garmo? No, I didn't think so. It has now been 7 weeks since Donald Trump took office, and honestly, it has turned out to be far worse than most of us anticipated. Somehow, we've become best friends with Russia, decided to abandon the Department of Education, and are now strong-arming Canada. The Tariff of Nottingham has been making waves again. Today, Trump announced an additional 25% tariff on Canadian steel imported into the US. There he goes, once again, trying to stop the steal. President Zambon weighed in, posting about our neighbors to the north, declaring, "They will pay a financial price for this, so significant it will be written about in history books for years to come." The only logical conclusion? Canada should just become our beloved 51st state. Doing so would eliminate tariffs altogether and resolve every related issue. We would form the safest, most stunning nation on the planet, and your cherished anthem, "O Canada," would continue to play, only now as the proud anthem of a remarkable and powerful state within the greatest nation the world has ever seen. He's moving on Canada like no one's stopping him. This is basically the same strategy Jafar from Aladdin tried when he pursued Princess Jasmine. Jafar Lago at its finest. I genuinely believe that when Trump first suggested making Canada a US state, he was joking. But then one of his lackeys must have said, "That's a brilliant idea, Mr. President." And suddenly, in his mind, it became a brilliant idea. Even though it's completely absurd and will never ever happen, he's somehow investing energy into it. Who asked for this? Who voted for this? Also, whatever happened to those dogs and cats supposedly being eaten in Ohio? That was never resolved. The stock market took another hit today. The Dow dropped 478 points. Just yesterday, it plunged nearly 900 points. Naturally, all of this is somehow Joe Biden's fault. After spending years bragging and lying about how well the stock market performed during his presidency, suddenly, Trump no longer thinks the stock market is a big deal. We're just in a transition period. Apparently, we're transitioning from the so-called disaster that Joe Biden left behind in the previous administration. Wait, there was a disaster? Did we miss it? Did you know about this? No, I didn't either. But MAGA media, always eager to keep Daddy Donald happy, is bending over backward to spin this as some kind of master plan. Trump is deliberately wrecking the economy for reasons that remain a mystery, and the mental gymnastics some of these people are doing to justify it is almost impressive. The analogy that always works for me is this. Imagine a drug addict, someone hooked on heroin. Once they're forced off the drug, they often struggle to survive and may need methadone just to function. Oh, I get it now. The whole country is made up of drug addicts, and we hired a con artist to run the rehab program. Makes total sense. These people are working overtime to convince us that this mess unfolding before our eyes is all part of a grand strategy. It's just part of the plan. One of the key players in this narrative is the ever-anxious Speaker of the House, Mr. Iron Mike Johnson. What President Trump is doing, Johnson explains, is a lot like playing pool. You step up to the table and all the balls are racked. You hit them as hard as you can. This is a common strategy, by the way, spreading them across the table. Then you play the game of sinking them into the pockets. That's what we're doing right now. It's a shake-up. And sometimes shake-ups are rough, but it all works out in the end. No, it doesn't always work out in the end. Sometimes you hit the cue ball so hard, you knock everything off the table and end up with nothing left to play with. Also, this is a terrible metaphor, especially since there is no possible way Mike Johnson is tall enough to shoot pool. And, of course, no parade of enablers would be complete without a bit of historical wisdom from first daughter-in-law Lara Trump. When history looks back on this era in America, I truly believe Donald Trump and Elon Musk will be remembered as the two saviors of this country and really of the entire world. And that, folks, is the level of delusion required to marry Eric Trump. Truly. I mean, really. To her credit, she's a supportive daughter-in-law. She believes Elon Musk and Donald Trump are going to save the world. She also believes she can sing. Elon Musk, meanwhile, is having a rough time. Tesla sales are plummeting worldwide. Yesterday, The company experienced its worst stock drop in 5 years. Elon himself lost nearly $30 billion in value. Things are going so poorly, he may have to fire himself. This is not an ideal time to be a Tesla owner. Across America, angry citizens are vandalizing Teslas, damaging charging stations, and even attacking showrooms. The situation